Okay, we are good to go. Amazing. Hi, Jana. Hi, Jocelyn. Yay.
Hi, Jocelyn.
So welcome, guys. We're here for the third webinar series of 6. So tonight we're doing intuition, and we'll just spend a couple seconds introducing ourselves. We've got questions that we're going to answer that I got emails on, and then we're going to jump into intuition. So hi from UK. Oh, hi, Emmy. Yay, she's from the UK. So good to see your beautiful.
Hi, Emmy. You too. Oh, it's so good to see you from across the pond.
Exactly, just a small pond. So I'm Divi. I'm Dr. Divi. Welcome, everybody. That's all I've got right now.
That's who I am. So this is all about intuition. So I want you to intuit my name. I'm Lynnette Brown. Nice seeing you guys.
And today we're. I'll just briefly remind you guys. So we're doing the Mind, Body, Spirit coaching webinar series. The coaching program starts in January. We've discussed it a lot, and I know some of you guys might be new to this format. I know some of you guys will be watching the replay on format. So if you scroll down, you're going to see more description of that, and we'll talk about the coaching program as it fits into tonight. But what do you feel like? Are we good to start with the questions, or do you want to talk a bit about yourself?
Yeah, let's do that first. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay, perfect. So I'll start with the first question. So this came in from Tanya. This is very sweet. I think she's online too. So hi, Dr. Divi. Hi, Tanya. This is her email. I have tuned into two of the recorded webinar sessions and hope to attend live for the remaining 4. I saw you in person for a session just over a year ago, right before I moved to Winnipeg, which in Canada we call Winterpeg. So I have been super drawn to doing this work, but during the first webinar, when I heard the cost of the program, I began feeling overwhelmed and upset, as I don't see it working in my life at this time financially. I then watched the second webinar after a couple of days and felt a renewed inspiration to participate. However, again, not sure how to do that due to the cost and the feeling being weighed down by previous debts. And then she asked a few questions about other things that I'm up to. And then she said, I appreciate your guidance and I'm loving the webinar so far.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. This is Tanya, right?
Tanya, yes.
Tanya. So this is really great, Tanya, because part of this whole program is about the whole aspect of it is all about transformation. We're going to be directing it in the field of coaching, creating business, but it's also about yourself, right? And part of the limiting beliefs we have around, how much something costs, it's an activation point for you, right? And what I want you to what I want to ask you to be present to tonight is just be here. Don't think about the cost. Don't think about all that. Be present to your guidance. Be present to your intuition, right? And we're going to talk about money next week, right, Divi?
Yep.
Right. We're going to talk about money next week because Divi and I both believe it's so important to include the money conversation in this work because so many people who are of service, who want to make a difference in the world, so often would give it away because it's their passion, what they want to do. But we live in a world where it's about exchange, energy, everything, right? And everyone deserves to receive abundance for what they put out, right? Energy coming and going. So I get the guidance for you, Tanya, is to just be present and be in your heart and listen and see where it takes you, right? I know for myself, I signed up for a coaching program with my coach, a really intense mentoring program with my coach. And in fact, my ears still get red when I think about it because I get hot because the amount of money that I was willing to commit to, I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do that? How am I going to do that? And I did it. And because I just felt this pull, I was like, I felt this heat rise. It's some of my signs, right? I got all the signs. Just do it. Go for it. Reach. And I did it. And I could not fathom how I was going to pay this amount of money a month. to this person, right? To my coach. I was like, how am I going to do this? It's unbelievable, right? And guess what happened? I tripled my income in 9 months. And it was because I was like, hey, I put the money up there. It's like, put your money where your mouth is one of the things my mom always told me. Put your money where your mouth is, little girl, right? So it's like, if you believe in that, Lynnette, go for it. Put your energy there. Put your money there, right? Money is energy, right? So does that answer the question, Tanya? Do you feel like that? Respond back. It feels like it.
I'll just make sure and I'm just going to, I'm going to change my here. So I want to, she's going to type in a second thing I want to add to that. That Lynnette spoke about, what Lynnette may not know, that she knows she says this, but she may not remember that she said it to me at the beginning. One of the things she said to me at the beginning when I started coaching with her now 7 or 8 years ago, because I had the same reaction, Tanya, that you're having about, in this case, coaching with Lynnette privately. And we're not going to talk about what those dollar figures were. That doesn't really matter. But that sum of money was like, I've never done that before. Oh my God, right? And one expression she used to me at the beginning that she doesn't need to say to me anymore was, if you're not receiving the benefit of that money, if you're not making it back, then she would say that I'm not doing my job. And I know that Lynnette and I will commit to that statement to this program as well.
Definitely.
Because this program, if you're not getting a shift in your life, then we're not doing our job. Okay. The one Lynette's taught me a zillion things, but one of the biggest things she's taught me was we've heard that concept that money is an energy, but she's really taught me how to implement that concept in my life. And she talked about how she tripled her income in 9 months. I doubled my income in the last year. And both of us are quite funny this way because neither of us really know. Like, our partners tell us this stuff. Like, I don't know. My husband wanted to do the tax and he said, we made this much last year. I was like, oh, like that's my reaction. Oh, and then he said, I said, how much do you make the year before? He said, this much. I was like, that's almost double. And he goes, yeah, it is double, Divi. And I was like, oh, and that's my reaction. Oh, and you can just say, well, it's because I did that and I did that, but it really is the energy. So I'd like to stand here with Lynnette and honestly say to you guys, if you're not getting that shift in your lives, then we're not doing our job and we're going to do our job. Is that fair?
100%. And part of it too. So remember, a lot of this is, for me, putting my money, making that commitment with my money had me show up. And a lot of times when we are experiencing lack, it's because we're not showing up for ourselves, for our relationship with the divine, not listening to our body, what we've learned the last 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
So that's a big part of it.
And Tanya, let us know if that lands. And then the second comment that came in actually in a session the other day with a client was a great question. Oh, Tanya writes in, thank you for addressing my question. You're welcome, Tanya.
So did it answer it? Okay, good.
Hopefully it answered it. It's hard to know how to answer. Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Perfect. So the comment question I received yesterday from a client, which I think is a completely valid question. I know I have had this in the past, and I still do, but I don't have it anymore in my field. But the question was, how can we coach or help another when we haven't figured out our own stuff? So
right. And this is great because part of that is one of the ways we sabotage ourselves. Like, I can't write the book until I'm a PhD, or I need to do this before I can do that, right? And if you're inspired, if you're like, okay, I really want to get my PhD because I'm so inspired by this subject and it just turns me on so much, I want to get my PhD, right? That's different than, oh, I've got to do this before I can do that. So one of the things you have to remember, like in law of attraction, one of the things Abraham says is you never get it done, you never get it finished. And if you think that as a coach that you're supposed to be perfect and have it all figured out, Divi will tell you. I'm like literally, guys, I just finished moving into my new house. Like literally, seriously, 45 hours ago, literally last load. Okay, so boxes everywhere. So it's like, it doesn't matter, right? It's really about you and your choices, where you want to direct yourself and understand that you're going to be working with people who are probably just a couple of steps behind you, right? And as you grow, you'll be working with clients who are just a couple of steps behind there, right? This is not a level thing. Growth is expansion, goes all directions, right? But so if you have this calling to work with people, to help, to connect, whatever part of your aspect it is for you, if you wait until you get it all right, you get it perfect, you won't ever do it. And remember that perfection, Brene Brown, I love what she says, perfection is like the sister to shame. So it has to be perfect, right? So to answer that question a little bit deeper is like inside all of us, we have this divine wisdom. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight with intuition. It's this divine wisdom within you. And you would be surprised when you sit down across from somebody and they might be going through something that you've never gone through, that you can't even imagine. But you can go within, utilize your mind, body, spirit work, and be able to connect with that person and make a difference. And that's what it's really about. It's about the connection. It's about love. And in that moment, you seeing the divine vision of that for that person when they can't see it for themselves. Coaches are really about holding the kite string so their clients can go out there and soar. So that when things get twirly, and they're going to, because they do for everybody, contrast is everywhere, and it always will be, right? So in that space, you're that person that says, it's okay, I got you. That's my thing. That's what I tell my clients. It's okay, I got you. And I mean that. Like, I mean it. Like Divi said earlier, this is our passion. This is why we're here on the planet. And so it's like, I don't want anybody coming through with us that's not going, okay, I got it, right?
Yeah.
You want to add to that?
Just completely agree with that. The whole perfection thing, it's exactly that. It really is, it's a full circle, and there's never a session, ever, that you will not learn something from that session for yourself. The divine speaks to you in so many different ways. And you know, I don't think, and you've attended any of the workshops, the weekend workshops I teach, but one of the things that I say, and I was just teaching one last weekend, one of the most common things I say when I get them, people partnering up with each other, I say there's only two things you have to do. Number one, love the person. Number two, ask, how can I be of service? That's all, that's it. Now, over the year, we're going to teach you tool after technique after tool after technique, including intuition, which is tonight's call, to help you fill in those gaps, right? But it really is, what I love about the mind, body, spirit work is that it's all about love. And
100%.
when we shower someone with love, then they step into their essence. And that's, you know, in my world, and like almost everybody who's on the call tonight whose name I recognize, I feel like we've played that journey together, and that's why you guys are here, right?
Right. Exactly.
So yeah. So
and that love and that light, being able to expand that and share that with another person, it lifts you both up. So just think about that. You know, you both rise higher.
That's it. Awesome. So I think, yeah, that's great. So ready to jump in on intuition?
Yeah. Everybody, are all the questions?
Yeah, she writes, I feel the divine is telling you to dive
in. Definitely, right? To whatever pool it is, right? It doesn't, this is, right, good.
Yeah, completely.
Okay, so everybody ready? So is everybody ready? You guys are all ready? Yeah. If you're ready, say, yeah, I'm ready. Type in, yeah, I'm ready. I want to know that you're here and you're present.
Amy writes in, yes, I really deeply resonate with this conversation. It's so beautiful to work work with love. Everyone's writing a yes.
Yay, okay, good.
Yes, I'm ready. Okay, they're writing yes.
So that's one of the things I want to do with this. And that's what Divi and I are going to have. We want interaction. right? And since we can't see all your beautiful faces right in this moment, and intercom, everything being open, we can have an open conversation. I want you to be really, I'm gonna talk to you via chat, right? So you have a question or you're just like, hey, I'm in this, right? I'm in for the love, right? I'm in for the experience. I'm in for the connection. I'm in to experience myself in a manner that I never have. That's what intuition does. Okay, so one of the things about us beautiful humans is that we have these incredibly intelligent and brilliant minds that go nonstop. This, I like calling it the monkey mind, right? And Divi's talked about it with meditation and in how we work with this, but we often misconstrue divine guidance because sometimes it comes in through your thoughts, through claircognizance, which is one of the clairs we talk about, right? And one of the great ways to learn the difference between, am I in my head or is this intuition, right? So how many of you guys have ever gotten some guidance, like a nudge to do something, and you didn't follow it? If you did, say, yeah, that's me. I'm raising my hand. That's me. I'm with you. You're not alone, right? We all raise your hand. Yeah, me.
Oh, their hand's going up. Monique,
right?
Jocelyn said,
yeah, 100%, right?
Yeah.
Good.
Chantal,
Okay.
100%. I've done that. Yeah.
There you go. And so when we've done that, when we do that, because it happens to all of us, especially in the beginning where we're not really clear about this skill and this talent, because intuition is it's a gift. Everyone has it. Everyone has it. If you're breathing, you have it. So let's put aside all that conversation of not me, right? I'm not going to look into a crystal ball, right? If you want to, that's a cool thing. I love those. Here's the thing. When you are in your head, you're thinking. When you receive divine guidance, even if it's claircognizance, it's a thought, but it's how it resonates with your physical body. When you receive the guidance to, like for me, through all these years of doing this work, if I hear the guidance, pull over, I pull over. I don't ask a question. I pull over. And inevitably, I have a low tire or something, right? So how many of you have not followed your guidance and then later on go, oh my gosh, if I had listened to myself, I wouldn't have done that. If that's you, say, yeah, that's me. That's me.
Got some hands up. Yep, we already got some hands. Yep, they're all going up.
Okay, good.
Chloe's on here. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, good.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you, Bonnie. Yeah, exactly.
Bonnie,
I see you, Tanya. I see you, Emmy. Yeah, that's it. That's what we're talking about. Is like so often the universe is always answering, right? Always responding. And what it's about is us being able to synthesize those frequencies and vibrations. And the way that we can do that we do it with our body, like the work that Divi's been talking about, right? But also through our intuition. And intuition and the body go hand in hand. Can't have one without the other. And so this is why this work is essential to do together, right? Because if you're not listening to your body, this is what happens to a lot of intuitives. People in this line of work, they don't listen to their body, they don't take care of themselves, and they get run down, and then their hits, what I call hits, when you make it solid, they start slacking off because they're not taking care of themselves, right? This is a divine communication. Anytime you are sitting down, you're connecting with anyone, with utilizing your intuition, it is a divine conversation. It is a conversation from the sacred, divine within you to the divine in the person you're speaking with. Okay? Yay, I'm so glad I was finally free to join the call. Yay! Hey, Chloe! So
Tanya says, I love that.
Right? It's so cool. Here's the great thing about it. Even all of you, I bet, okay, answer me this. How many of you have experienced that intuition, that little hit, that little guidance? Like, I knew you were going to call. You think of your friend and then they call or they text you. Used to be they call, now they text, right? How many? Yeah, see? Thank you.
Hands up. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that is listening. So it's about slowing down the activity of the mind and allowing the conversation with the divine, allowing the divine in you, the wisdom, the power, the love that you are to rise up so that you can be the greatest version of you. So with that, how's all this landing with you guys? Is this going in the direction you're feeling it? You loving it? You feeling good? Yay? Yeah? That's good?
Feeling good. Yeah, feeling good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Good. One comment. Sometimes I put so much pressure. This is from Emmy. Sometimes I put so much pressure on myself to do it right. There's a fear inside of being wrong that gets in the way. Any insight on what to do with that?
Absolutely. So, Emmy, are you talking about like when you're utilizing your intuition, like the fear of not doing it right? Is that what you got by the question, Divi?
He writes yes.
Yes. Okay. So the biggest thing with intuition that's going to stop you is you wondering if you're right. And so when you wonder if you're right, you're in your ego. So when you just stop and you sit back, breathe, connect with that person. How can I love them? How can I be of service? And you open up your heart. There's no attachment. There's none whatsoever. I used to get all nervous, and then I realized, wait a second. I've been doing this all my life since I was a little girl. I heard voices. I had things. I had all kinds of things that showed up. And my mother, God love her, she saw it. She knew it because our family has a history of this. So because she had it, she, knew how to cultivate it to where I wasn't frightened for me. Right? So the biggest thing is just say it. Say it. Just get it. Like so the best intuitives on the planet are like 83.6% accurate. Now, if you bat that in baseball, you're in the Hall of Fame, right? So here's the thing. If you're listening and this is what I always tell my clients. I always say, does that hit? Does that resonate with you? Because and from the get-go, when people work with me, I tell them, if it doesn't fit, don't put it on. It's coming through, whatever. It might not make sense right now. It might make sense 6 months from now, right? And so many times, I can't tell you how many clients say, you told me da-da-da-da-da, and you know what? Da-da-da-da-da, right? It just all comes through. So does that help, Emmy? How about the rest of you? Do the rest of you ever have that experience?
So helpful, she writes.
Oh, good, Emmy. Good.
Yeah.
And if we have time tonight, I don't know if we'll have time, but if we have time, I'll do a couple little intuitive things. So is everybody good? So here's the great thing. This is what's so great about this, because, you guys know my history coming from the legal world and coming into intuition. And I was a protege of Doreen Virtue for over 6 years, and traveled the world with her and have spoken on that, that I can do it. Been around in that pressure kind of sense. And it really honed me. It trained me to not, Doreen really, God bless her, she really said, just give it up, Lynnette. Don't do it. Don't, just do it. Just say it. Just say it. And when you start and it's really a confidence game. When you start believing that I don't need to say a thing. I just need to be present and love, and the divine is going to speak through me. Right? Divi, you want to add anything?
Beautiful. What things I'd add is it's so easy. Like it's so easy. And it really is about training that muscle. And, some of you that are out there like, well, Lynnette it comes in her family. You're speaking to somebody who can't say that. That's me. And I have I would bet you $1,000. You know what I mean? I'd really put my money on this one. My left brain is so strong. I mean, it's got to be strong to get into med school when you're 19. It's so strong.
Oh, yeah.
I always think if I could do that, then when I trained my right brain and opened up intuition, people always worry they can't do it. You guys can do it. We can't. What I've learned a lot, not just from Lynnette, but from just practice, is that we all have it. And I always say, if I can do it, you guys can do it. I always say that.
I want to say too, even the fact that, I learned it all on my own. My mom just knew not to freak out, right? She didn't know to teach me, right? Like I'm teaching my granddaughters. But it's like she was like, it's okay. It's okay. You heard that? Oh, no, I didn't hear that, right? So it's no matter what your DNA says, whether you've done it or not, you've got it in you. And it's really about listening. It's an active listening. It's not just listening. It's listening. Does that help?
And it sets you into this place of receiving. So, right. Thanks, Lynnette. So good to hear your advice. Saying it makes it real for me, like a clear channel, vessel, tap for the divine, and letting the love pour out eases all the fear, feeling safe and supported. And Junior writes, besides meditation yoga, is there anything else we can do to increase that intuition muscle so we can trust more?
Absolutely. Practice. And here's the thing. I made up games for myself because I went and got certified and had all this stuff happen. And then I was like, I was really intrigued by it. And so I'm a person, just those of you who don't know me, I am not into struggle. I'm not into effort. I am all about having fun. So I like to play. And even when it's work, it's still play. So when I decided, okay, I'm going to work with my intuition, I want to build it. How can I do that? I was like, okay, I can do the card thing, right? Like we talked about in Psychic Savvy, you can play with cards. So one of the ways you can do that is you can just get a regular deck of cards, shuffle them up, right? And start off face down and just take a breath and say, okay, is this a black or a red card? Pull it up. What do you get? And then just keep going. The biggest thing here is that when you begin, if you don't get it right and you don't get it right and you don't get it right, what happens? What does your brain do? Right? Where does your brain go? Does it go, see, I can't do this. Lynnette said you could do it and I can't do it. Right? Because that happens. So practicing, and one of the other things that I did to practice when I was driving, I was in my car driving. I'm like, okay, tell me which way the car in front of me is going to go. They're going to go straight, left, right. If you are a commuter and you're on a train, tell me about, where should I sit? Where's a parking spot? Find me a good parking spot. Right? Jocelyn's like, yeah, I'm great at finding parking spots. Yeah, exactly. And because parking, here's the great thing. Here's what you want to see. Parking spots are easy. You know why? Because you're not attached. You're not like totally invested. If I get this wrong, these people are going to think some blah, blah, blah. Right?
Yeah. And it really is about having fun. I remember when that taught me that card thing. I was playing with it. Sometimes we take ourselves really serious and like, oh, I gotta get this right. Oh, and so that it just kind of tails you. But if you just have fun with it, that's kind of, and make up fun games, like fun activities, and practice, and that's
part of with your friends. People who are like-minded friends, right? And that's one of the things about the course. Divi and I are going to set up individual groups where you guys can connect. right? Whether it's, through Zoom or however, you want to do through Google Hangout or whatever. You guys can be present and be enmeshed in this energy for a year. That's a big deal, It's like, oh my gosh, both of us for a year. I'm like, wow. Can I sign up? No.
The computers are going to buzz. I know. Exciting.
I have a question for you guys. How many of you are, I got the guidance, I was asking, what do we need to talk about tonight? What would be a good thing to connect with you guys, to support you in your intuition, as well as show you how it's connected to everyday life, right? It's part of how you can use your intuition every moment, whether it's finding a parking spot, how to address your boss for a raise, how to find a better job, how to, all these things, right? And being able to have that ability it doesn't mean you have to be like a professional intuitive, right? It's having this ability makes life so much easier. It's like, even when you find yourself sideways, circle in the drain, low vibration, let your well-being go, everything's la la la, you can stop and go, okay, wait a second. I'm going to do some automatic writing. I'm going to take and do these things so that I can see what's going on. Another way to improve your intuition, and I just got the guidance. I heard somebody's like, what's another way? Another way to improve your intuition is writing, like either automatic writing or just writing, right? Also repetitive movements like dance, things where you're just like, like cutting, it happens for me a lot when I'm, preparing dinner, like cutting the veggies and all the stuff. It's very repetitive, right? And a lot of times people get a lot more information, intuitive guidance when they're around water, because water is very conducive to opening up, right? So how many of you have some decisions or choices you want to make? I got the guidance to those people. Some people are having challenges around making some choices, some changes in their lives. Is that anybody?
Emmy writes so many. And Tanya writes in, I've been really paying attention to my dreams to build my intuition. I find that really works for me.
Oh yeah, that's definitely one of the things we talk about. Yeah. Dreams are a really big one. Also signs and symbols, right? So, and I want to kind of take you through working a little bit, get some ideas of signs or some symbols for yourself tonight.
So people are saying yes, yes. I keep seeing numbers like 1111s.
Oh yeah, angel numbers. So 111, that is all about the universe is taking a snapshot of your thought right then for instant manifestation. So when you get 4 ones in a row, like, woo, keep it clean, girl.
So Amin writes in, my dreams have come true, like something tragic will happen.
That does happen. And sometimes when that happens, it's the way that it's always been for me when that happens, or any clients that I work with, or even my friends that, my inner circle. I found that when that happens, that it's to allow the body to synthesize the information before it comes into being. So, though I really feel like those dreams, especially when they come true and it's something traumatic, that there's something there to prepare you to be ready to manage it, and also addresses the fears and stuff.
And then the other comment, signs and symbols from Jocelyn, the deer that visits me, the buck has 4 points. And then Sabrina wants to know when we see 1111, what do we need to do?
You don't need to do anything. It's like, it's a sign. Well, I wrote a book with Doreen Virtue called named Angel Numbers. And numbers are a great way to get your attention because it's something that most people use, whether it's the price on the menu or driving by on a billboard and you see numbers. Numbers are like this is something I've researched forever and I love it. Numbers are like little portals. You can like go in and it's like, whoa, here's some messages. You know, numbers for me are like the universe going, wake up, kid, right? You know, symbols are the same thing. You know, one of the people at one of our workshops back in the day was like, I don't know about this sign thing. You know, how can I know if the divine, the angels, the guides are giving me a sign? I need a sign. I need a really big sign. She drove home that night, and the same way she's always driven home. And there was a gigantic sign, billboard that said Angel Hotel. He's like, I've never seen that sign the whole time I've lived here. I said, well, I think you got guides, you know, here around. What do you think? She's like, oh my gosh, it was bigger than life. I said, this is what you said you wanted. Bigger than life, right?
2 more questions. I'm going to Pat writes in. So my dad passed away years ago, and I had a dream that he passed away, and then that in the exact way he passed away. Is the dream a form of intuition?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then Alvaro asked,
I feel like sometimes those messages come through that way because when you're in dream state, you are 100% with the divine, right? You've lost all resistance. You're 100% with the divine. You're in the united, right? In the union. And it's again a way for you to prepare you to synthesize that information. And even when it doesn't come true, like in this world, like the actual, this person does that, it's a message. It's something like pay attention, especially if it's something that seems, any of you guys ever had any visitations, like you feel like the person that was deceased was like sitting on the end of the bed or was standing there, or you're like, I swear I dreamt this and I felt like they were right in the room. Well, they were. I mean, that is the energy. That is it. And sometimes our loved ones come through dream state because in the waking state, we're looking for them where they're not versus where they are. Right?
2 more questions. Alvaro writes in on the Q&A section, connecting for me with the divine has a sense more to serve others rather than the personal level. So in that sense, we are here to serve others, and the idea is to make it more formal, like an additional career experience. So I think it's more of a comment.
Okay.
I think.
Sure. I mean, I think part of it, I agree that it's about being of service, but we're also here to receive. And this is not about put out, because that exhausts the supply. I mean, that's why nature has 4 seasons, right? The leaves leave, and even though they leave the tree, they're still nourishing the ground, right? And then they come back, right?
And then around signs, Julie writes in, a sign for me is when I go for a walk, the street lights always go out when I walk underneath them. It's actually starting to scare my boyfriend when we go for walks.
Oh my gosh, I was just talking about this. In fact, I want to pull up my cell phone to show you. I was just talking about this. I had a friend of my partner, my husband, Mike, we're not married yet, but he wrote me this text and he's like, do you ever have street lights go out? And he goes, he said, I had the homeowners association come check it out. He goes, I walk under it, it flickers. If I go like this, it goes out. I'm like, I mean, electric, any of you guys ever blow out your keys for the hotel?
Yeah.
That it doesn't work, your credit card, your debit card, things like, it's all, exactly. And part of that, so here's the question. Who was that asked that question?
That question was from Julie.
Okay, Julie, here's the thing about that, darling, is you want to make sure that you're deliberately directing that energy. Okay, so this is where we get into trouble. Not trouble, but when we experience that kind of stuff is when we don't have it contained. And that's what you want to be really clear about. Because sometimes our energy can get messy, right? And it's about the container. And when you start having things blow up, I know for the longest time, it was like I was so frustrated with the hotel key situation. I was like, just don't give me one, you know, don't give me one. Can I have them that push a number in? Does that work? You know, but I finally realized it was about me just this way instead of holding it and being it. Can you guys feel the difference in that?
Yeah. It's huge. It's huge, powerful. Hotel keys, it always happens, and I never thought about it. That's what Chloe said.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a lot of differences, Emmy. Daniel White said, if I'm having bad dreams, is there any way I can connect and change the way things come through in the dream state?
Absolutely. Ask for it. You know, one of the great things about intuition is that the universe is in the divine, your guides, everybody, they're always listening. They're always 24/7, omnipresent. And so it's about you setting that intention and saying, okay, here's the thing. And so this happened to me too when I first started, after I was certified mediumship and I started doing stage mediumship, I would start to experience the traumas that deceased ones had experienced, like gunshot or like stomach stuff or whatever. And I realized, hold on a second, you know, I don't want to, this is no fun for me. And so I was like, hold on, you know, I just put, not a barrier. I just said, wait a second, I don't want to experience that. I want to receive it. I want to receive the information here instead of in my body. Did I answer the question, Divi?
Yeah, it does. It really does. For me, it does, yeah.
Yeah. I get out there and there's like...
Emmy says, yes, such a difference. Any advice on how to stay contained? I often envision my aura and closing up when I choose to. I've been so used to being open all the time in the past. It's a new experience to stay grounded, centered, and contained.
I know, it is. I was the same way. And I used to think that people who were grounded were just kind of boring. I like, oops, sorry. Oh, I just dropped my water. Hold on. So that's what I get for saying people are boring.
And you writes in ha-ha.
Yeah, exactly. Instant karma. So what I've seen about, with the containment is that it actually expands the energy. It strengthens it. Much like when you hold your intention, that you're creating a new business, you're creating something that you desire. You hold the intention. You don't go out and tell everybody so that the people who are afraid of what you're doing, all the naysayers, right, don't, mess it up for you and tell you how you can't have that, right? It's the same energy. It's the same thing as like, yeah. So what I started doing is practicing with traffic lights. Like, okay, I'm driving, and so now I'm going to direct this to where I had all greens. Just ease, not speeding, not going crazy, not forcing it to happen. And it's like, we have this one road by where I just moved from, and there's like, it's like at least 10 traffic lights to get, and so that's when I would practice. So I would do that, what you were doing in me with the lights, and I would hold it, and then I would say, green, and green. Nice. That's a great way to play with it. Nice. Just do me a favor, Emmy, and don't push the energy there, because you're going to blow out the traffic lights, and then that's going to be a lot of chaos and contrast.
I love the traffic lights. Bonnie writes, traffic lights work perfectly. If traffic gets hectic, I ask for a red light. It always works.
There you go. It does. And that's the thing. It's like, we are broadcasting, and intuition is just plugging into that broadcast. So is there so I keep getting that there's somebody here has a big decision or a big choice to make. Is there anybody here? Yes, flow, not force.
Yes, Emmy writes yes.
Oh, yes. Okay. Anybody else?
Abby writes yes. Abby writes
yes.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else have some choices, some decisions?
Tanya writes, I'm in the midst of many large decisions.
Okay, good. This is why. Okay, because it was bearing down on me. I mean, literally, I feel like I'm flush because okay. All right. So here's what I want you to do. Does everybody have some paper and pen? Okay, good. Amon. Did I say that right? Amon?
Amen, yeah. Me too.
Amen.
Yeah, sorry. I'm
Amen.
right to me too.
It's like me, right? Okay. Everybody has paper? Okay. Everybody with me? Who's with me? If you're with me, say, I'm with you. I'm here.
Yes, me.
Present. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm with you. Yeah, I love it. Thank you for being with me. Okay. So I want you to, on the, okay. So have the pen and paper there. Just want you to get present, be here with me. And I want you to think about one of the choices, one of the things you need to choose. In this situation, choose the situation. Think of the situation, okay? And I want you to take both of your hands. I want you to put them out in front of you, palms up. Take a breath. And I want you to put yes in one hand and no in the other. Like literally just see yourself putting, there you go, good. Okay. Now I want you to hold them. Now I want you to pay attention first to the one that's in your left hand. Feel it. What's the texture? Is there a temperature change? Just notice, does your hand feel different than it did before you put it in there, right? Just notice it might feel, see for me, I'm holding it like this. Now, I was holding my hand like this before. Now I notice my hand's like this, holding more energy, right? Just a natural thing my body does. Your body does it too, right? Notice it. Does it have a texture, a sensation? Okay. Now go to your right hand. And notice it. Now see, my right hand just automatically went flat. It opened up. Just notice it. Is there any colors or texture, sensations? And notice the weight of both. Which one feels easier? Which one feels like, oh yeah. Whichever one feels, you feel the most sensation, the most like, oh yeah, that feels like, oh, I want to go like this. This is how it feels for me. Even if it's a no, right? It's like, so now what I want you to do with your pen and paper, I want you to draw a line down the middle of your paper. And I want you to write, one side was the yes, the other side's the no. And I want you to list out a couple of little attributes. Tingly, heavy, light, open palm, holding a ball, right? Just a couple of little notes for yourself. All right. Let me know. You guys let me know when you're done. How about that? Because I'm like, done. Come on. Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
Done. Okay. Boy, you guys are heating it up. I gotta. Whoop.
Me too.
No, right? I'm sorry. I have to take my sweater off. Okay. So now with this, think of this situation again. As you're looking down both sides of the piece of paper, which side feels better? Maybe one side was tingly and minty and you like that, but somebody else tingly and minty might be like the thousands of needles in their hands and they don't like that. Which felt good? Which felt fun? Which felt easy? Notice, and I want you to circle the side of the attributes where it was like, oh yeah, I liked that one. This is a really great technique, especially if you're not really clear now for me in my world is if I'm not a hell yes, I'm a no, right? But that can also, you're getting down to big stuff. Sometimes the brain comes in and you don't know if you're a yes or a no. Okay, let me know when you guys are finished circling. Now, even if you have circles on both sides, it's okay. You finished? You circled? Okay. So now these words that you've circled, they are leading you to your symbol, to a message, to a sign, per se. I want you to just look at those. So can somebody holler out some of their words that they circled? Who wants to be my guinea pig?
Light, open, fluffy, and we're looking for guinea pig. Flexible.
Flexible. Okay, good. So you can see fun. Okay, fun. Okay, you can see
tingly,
where warm. You can see where all of those words are descriptors that are pointing you. These are all obviously good things that feel good, right? They're pointing you in the direction. So when you feel warm, Abby, you knew, like for me, that's one of them for me. I feel warm, like I can feel the heat rise. That's why I take my sweater off, right? It's like I can feel the heat rising up, and that's like, wow, go. Yes, yes, yes. That's a yes for me, right? When it feels light and airy. So take those words and just feel those words in your body. Just like get really clear, the heat, the tingly. Now the other side's heavy and dense, I'm guessing. Is that,
that's Monique.
Monique, okay. Just a moment, okay. So take a look at those words. Just be present to them. The tingly, the heat, the light, the warmth, the open. I love that. Flexible. So each of these words has a vibration. And you're tuning in to the broadcast of that vibration. So just by me saying, tune in, or just like feel this word, flexible. What does it feel like? It feels easy. It feels wow. It feels Cirque du Soleil. It feels brilliant and bright, right? That's tapping in. That's tuning in.
Abby says, how do you make this decision with such bad anxiety around the matter? I feel like when I'm in that situation, I cannot feel what I'm supposed to feel.
I feel like I cannot feel what I'm supposed to feel. That's Abby?
Yeah.
So Abby, is it okay if I do a little intuitive hit with you?
Right, sure.
Okay. So they're showing me that, first of all, they want me to tell you you're not making a decision, you're making a choice. A decision often leads to cutting something off, like incision, right? Everything it's a decision, like it's cutting it off, making that choice. And the other thing is that they're telling me that the anxiety that you're feeling is really deeply connected to what other people are going to think or feel or respond or act or be towards you. And and I really see, sweetie, your heart, you don't want to hurt anybody. You want this to be ease. And they're just telling me to tell you to go for it. They're like, you know exactly what you want. Stop trying to appease everybody. Take care of yourself. You deserve to be happy too. That's the other thing. That's a really big one for you, about receiving and allowing yourself to be happy. Well, and you know what? I'm going to be honest. That's all of us. It's like, that's something we've had to learn, how to be like, allow ourselves to be happy and be free. Right. Does that help, Abby?
Abby writes, thank you.
So did it hit, Abby? Yeah.
She said, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, perfectly. She writes.
Okay, good.
And just
I want to make sure.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, guys. When you're doing intuitive hit, okay, so the other part is like, we're like, oh, I don't want to say anything. But when we take care of the person we're speaking with, when we care enough and we're like, hey, did that make sense to you? Or does that resonate with you? Because if it doesn't, it's not a big deal, right? But at the same time, if it does, I always want to take care, right? Always, right?
And I'm going to ask, how do I numb the brain? It's so chattery and takes over my intuition, I feel.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. And that's a big one for you too, sweetie. And welcome aboard, because I've got a legal background. Divi's a doctor. So, we definitely know how to use our minds. So what I'm going to ask you to do is use your power for good, not evil. So how you do that is really by practicing, by realizing, by starting to understand that you're the thinker, that you are paying attention to your thoughts. You are creating it. It's automatic. It's happening from the automatic. When you're deliberately doing it, you can redirect. Right? And so, Divi, what was the question again?
How do I shut up? How do I numb the brain? It's so chattery and takes over my intuition.
See, they want to speak to the numb.
Yeah.
That word numb. There's some pain for you, sweetie. And what I want to say is that, first of all, I want to say I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the pain that you've experienced. And I want you to know that pain is an informer. It's information. It brings us clarity. And when we can allow it to move through us, we're able to have the experience and the juice, right? Your resistance to the mind chatter makes your mind even louder. And they want me to tell you that you're really smart. You're really smart. And sometimes when you have a really brilliant mind, it feels like you're climbing Everest to just get into a meditative space. So what I would suggest for you to do is to work on just relaxation. Not on, having like meditation, great. And if you can get there, awesome. But really just relaxation, like relaxation. You're telling me that's a big thing for your body. Like you don't really relax much. Does that make sense? Is that resonating?
She hasn't typed in yet. The other picture I was seeing for Emin too was a lot about water, whether that be a float tank, whether that be the ocean, whether it be going to the river, fixing the water. So she hasn't answered yet. And then Julie Emin writes in yes. This is a good one. Julie says, is there a way to turn the intuition off? Sometimes I feel really overwhelmed.
Yes, absolutely. When I first started working and doing this professionally, I would walk through a grocery store and I would like, oh my gosh, that guy's cheating on his wife. Holy crap. Oh my God. Do I tell her? What do I do? Oh my God. Oh my God. It made me nuts. And then I was like, am I going crazy? Right? There is a way to turn it off. Like now I can go into crowds. I love concerts. I'm a live music person. And so I love going to concerts, and now I can actually go and not be impacted by the energy. I can manage the energy around me and be able to go and not hear what everybody's thinking. The other two is like, other way to do that, to practice that, is by directing what you're paying attention to. So when you get a hit on somebody else, it's like, why are you tuning into them? Because it's an active tuning in. And sometimes as intuitives and as healers and as light workers, we're all about helping. That's who we are. It's in our, I mean, that's just who we are, right? And so when we're that way, it's like we don't realize that we're tapping in without realizing. Did that make sense? Did I hit you, honey?
And then just to feedback what Emma was saying, the ocean water does wonders. I feel serenity and mountains. I love them. And then she writes in also, I totally can't relax. So bang on. And I would just want to speak to that. Emma, I get it. And I think a lot of times in the East Indian culture, not just our culture, you know, a lot of cultures.
Oh, yeah.
The woman, you know, and I got this. I have the same thing. I had the same thing. It took me a bit of time to kind of put constructive things in so I could relax. And that was a necessary thing, because what Lynnette just did about, and I was at a certain point in my life, I couldn't do that. And so it took, like I had to put things in to start to rewire the way my brain was trained, just like yours, Emma. So just starting to put those in, go to the mountains, go to the ocean, you know, get on the mountains.
Or take a sea salt bath.
Exactly.
And turn the lights off and light a candle.
Yeah.
Tell your family, or if you got family around, put a sign on the door, Mama's not here. And turn on some music.
Right.
And just, even if you can stay in there 5 minutes. 5 minutes is you know, step. Look, I've watched Divi. I'm telling you. Oh my gosh. Different person than she was years ago. Seriously. I mean, amazing. No, it's like,
no, I get it.
Just blow me away, darling. I love you.
And then Jocelyn writes that float tanks are amazing for her. And deep meditations get messages. And then writes an LOL. Yes, heart.
Oh, good.
Awesome.
Love it. Love it. So pay attention to these words. I know we're at 8 o'clock, and you've got to go somewhere.
Yeah, we're okay for a little bit. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. But pay attention to these words and the visions that they conjure. So just right now, pay attention, listen, tune into those words and ask for a symbol. Ask for a symbol. Just right now say, I want a symbol that represents this. Did you get one? If you did, right. Raise your hand if you did. If you didn't, let me know. I want to help.
Dunia said yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Dunia says yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, from Annie.
Okay.
Bonnie, yeah. Yep. Jocelyn,
Okay.
yeah. Amin said, I didn't get one.
Okay.
And then Emmy says, I didn't, and also my intuitive answer was different than what I wanted. Abby writes a no.
Okay. So let me address the intuitive answer. It wasn't what you wanted.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense. Okay. I totally got it. I mean, when I started getting symbols, I was like, excuse me, can I have a unicorn instead of a butterfly? You know, whatever. Right. So trust, because this symbol is just connected to this situation, and it's about these qualities that you circled, right? The calm, the what was it? Light, the tingly, right? Okay, and then Aman didn't get one, right?
No, Aman did. She got one. It was a reindeer.
Dear.
Dunia got a bright blue and white golden oval stone. And then I think Lorraine writes in, when I got my symbol of blue butterflies, I was amazed about how often they show up. They show up.
That's a big one. It's like,
right.
And so what I want you guys, so everybody has a symbol, right? Wait, did everybody get a symbol?
The other person, so Emmy got feather. I think Abby did not get one.
Abby, did you get one, darling?
She said no.
No, didn't.
No,
Wait.
And Tanya didn't get one either.
Okay, so Abby and Tanya, did Abby get one?
Abby did not know.
Okay, so and Abby and Tanya.
Jan said no too. So Tanya, okay. Jan, and
well, numbers are symbols too, Kathy. Altered.
Alvaro did not get one.
Okay, so everyone who didn't get one, I want you to take a breath I can feel you in my shoulder. Hold on. Take a breath. And think about those words. Just focus on allowing them, see the words just floating in front of you. A little cloud with the words, an animated series floating in front of you. Now, notice as you're watching these words float, I want you to ask, I want you to tune in and notice as you're listening, as you're feeling, as you're seeing and hearing, what do those words do? Notice. Maybe tingly turns into sprinkles. Or maybe it's just a way that you feel. Sometimes when the clairvoyance, when we don't, the seeing the symbols, we get caught up here in our head, right? We make it hard. And we also think we're pretending, we're making it up. Aman, that's what they're telling me it's for you, that you feel like you're making it up. No, Aman got the reindeer.
Yeah, she got reindeer. It was Abby and Alvaro and Tanya.
Sorry, it was Abby. It's about, hold on, I gotta tune in. Tuning into the sensations, because when you're okay, with clairvoyance, with getting a symbol, we think it, know it, feel it, see it, sense it, right? So what could you sense about those words? What do you sense? I'm getting that those of you are clairsentient, and that's why you're having troubles with seeing the symbol. Feel the symbol. Ease. I love that, Jan. Gliding, flying squirrel. There you go. Ease.
Tanya writes, I got light and so I got a light and empty and easy feeling for the answer I didn't want. Tanya, you're hilarious. I don't want that answer.
You are hilarious.
Oh, Tanya, you're making me laugh. All right.
That is so funny. That's so great.
And then Abby writes, she got an elephant. Nice.
Oh, I love elephants.
Protected and confident. It's a good feeling.
It is.
Good.
Right?
Nice.
So that good feeling, that is your symbol.
Mm.
So look, this week, because we're meeting up next week, right? This week, look for your symbol. Look for it. Seriously, actually look for it. Look for that good feeling. Look for that elephant. Look for that reindeer. Look for that blue stone. Somebody got a blue stone, right?
Yeah.
I'm seeing blue crystals everywhere. Look for it and notice when you see it, how you feel.
I've got two great questions for you.
Okay.
So we'll do this one first. This is from Stacy. Loving the webinar, you guys. Hi, Stacy. This is a great question. Would you be able to speak a bit about the intuition weekend itself, like the 3-dayer?
Absolutely.
What sort of things or activities will be taking place that will allow us to develop our skills? Will intuition process be taught throughout the 12-month course or just on the weekend immersion? That's for you.
Perfect. In fact, this is really interesting, and Divi and I hadn't talked about this, but we kind of have talked about it.
Yeah.
But this is how I see it, and Divi and I feel the same way, is that intuition is a part of the whole thing. It is the whole thing. And so intuition will be woven, just like money, just like energy, just like universal laws, just like all of that will be woven into the whole 12 months. You can't cherry pick. This is whole being, right? It's a whole being. So intuition will be covered. So the intuition course, the 3-day, oh my gosh, absolutely amazing experience. What it is, and I don't want to give you too much information, but I will tell you it's totally 100% experiential. It is not taking notes and learning. It is doing. It is being. It is literally practicing your intuition and literally doing readings, like literally. We go through exercises. We'll go through all kinds of things to heighten your experience so that you can really feel it. And then we set you up in reading situations where you're actually practicing in a loving environment, 100% supported. Everybody who did the intuition course in May, right? We did it in May, right?
Yeah.
We did it in May. I mean, we got such great feedbacks. People were just blown away. And the great thing about it is because we're teaching intuition, I got an exercise in May that I had never done before, and they gave it to me the night before, and I was like, okay, Divi, this is what I'm going to do. She's like, okay, totally all about it. And it was the most amazing experience. And those people walked out going, I know I'm an intuitive. I know whether I do it to this, or this, right? I know I have it in me. Now, whether I practice it or not, that's something different, right?
And then Abby asks, are the dates for the course up yet?
No, we don't have a month. No, they're not. Divi, what do you want to add about the course, darling?
So the course is amazing. I've taken 3.
Ceremony.
Pardon?
Ceremony.
Oh, yeah.
The
ceremony. You want to speak to that, or?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, I do? Okay, before I get to that. So we talk over each other. I've taken 3 intuition courses, and sitting in on Lynnette's course slash leading it with her has been the best intuition course I've taken. And I do this professionally, guys. I just want you to know that. And depending on the location, everything else, there's a couple ceremonies that we'll do to bring us all together, to release fears, to bring in love. And intuition is something that, it's a natural skill for all of us. And when we start partnering up, so Stacey's response to the part of your question, when we do our partner work during the year, especially, back up, I'll explain this to everybody. So the course this year is broken up into months, 12 months, obviously, and we meet for 3 weeks of each month. And then the last 1 or 2 weeks of every month, you have homework, small groups you work in, coaching homework with your partners, and so on. So even prior to the intuition course, you can bring an intuition into the coaching with your partner, but especially after the intuition course, give you an awesome place to practice. And then there's, you'll have a different partner each month, which keeps it light, exciting, and loving, and light, and everything else. At least that's how I set it up. And did that speak to what you want me to speak to?
Yeah. The ceremony. Here's the greatest thing about it is Abby. Was it Abby, right?
Yeah, Abby asked for the dates. Yeah, and Stacey asked for the description.
Okay, Stacey. The biggest thing for me that I feel like as a teacher, as a leader in this field, is that everybody walks out having had the experience of success, of getting the hit, of, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that. How did I do that? Right? And it is playful, it is fun. It's, and there's some people, like Chloe went. Is Chloe still on?
Chloe and Kathy and Chantel, they were all there.
Chantel, so, yeah. Oh, Chloe's like, it's amazing.
Chloe writes in, it's amazing. Yeah, it is. It's amazing.
They're life changer. Oh,
thank you. Jan. Oh, Jan. Sorry, Jan. I forgot you were here. Anthony, sorry, Jan.
I didn't realize that was that Jan. I didn't know that was the. Oh, so Jan.
Jan and Chloe are both here.
And me, but what about the course?
What about the course? Hello, Jan from Chloe. That's so cute. So I'll wait for them to respond in. While we're waiting for people to respond in, quick question from it was a great question from Emmy, if I can pull it up. Oh, I will in a second. The course was great, says Jan. Okay. The course, I'll paraphrase. The question that came in from Emmy, here it is. One last question if possible. As I've been opening up on my intuition path and started to listen to my own heart, my birth family has not been very accepting. This feeling of aloneness is the hardest part about being intuitive and empathetic.
It is very hard. It's really funny because it's a story that I have to tell you. It's in my world. I mean, I came from a world. I was a single mom working in the legal field, and I left my job. I just quit, and I was like, I'm gonna do something. And this is what I was called to do. And one of the things that is so scary is taking that step, right? To trust. Because with my family, my mom at the time, when I told her, I was like, I quit. She's like, you did what? Lynnette Michelle. My middle name's Michelle. Lynnette Michelle, you have 2 babies. Have you lost your mind? How are you going to take care of these kids? You know, she was freaked out. My brother was like, you've lost your mind. Everybody's like, oh my God. And 20 years later, I'm still doing this work. I'm successful. And my brother's like, wow, this is awesome. You're really great. But they still poke at me. They still are like, so if you're so psychic, da 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 da, if you're so intuitive, da 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 da. And I've learned that it's okay that I was brought into this family to be the one to say, yeah, this is real. Even though, you know, my brother, he's an accountant and does all this amazing work. He does some really great stuff. But that's not my thing. This is my thing. And he doesn't understand my thing. And his thing's awesome. It's cool. You know, he thinks my thing's cool. But it's like with your family, you have to realize there's a reason. You're an angel plopped down into that family. And sometimes, you know, we expect our family to support us, but part of it is that we're teaching them too, right? Just by example, by following your heart. And I used to really get super sensitive about it. I'd cry. I'd just tell my brother. And my brother and I are very close. And I'd tell him, I'm like, you know what? Stop picking on my job. This is my work. This is my life. This is my passion, dude. I don't make fun of you about historically correcting homes, you know, and da-da-da-da-da, right? And he's like, hey, you're an easy target. Because I'm an empath. Because I would get so about it, because I would be so hurt. Why can't you just accept how I am? Wait a second. Was I accepting how I was? No. I needed them to tell me at that time that I was okay, that doing this was okay. And they weren't going to do it. Because 20 years ago, people think you're cray-cray doing this stuff. You know? So did that help, honey?
And I was going to piggyback that. And I think then we have to wrap up if it's okay. Yeah, that's all good. So, I mean, I can relate. And I always make jokes about how I don't tell my family what I do, though they kind of know what I do. What Lynnette spoke of at the end, I think was really valuable, was when we give up the hope of looking for their approval, you know, because that's what it came down to for me too. And it is about teaching them that it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So,
I mean, look at Oprah. She came from a family. I mean, she had not so great life. I mean, most of us have had a lot of contrast, and that's why you're here.
Yeah. And then Emmy writes in, hit the spot, amazing story, validating, improving, accepting myself as the key.
That made, okay, this whole webinar is worth it. You guys have your symbol and you feel it. You feel the love. You guys are awesome.
Amazing. So we're together again next Thursday at 6 o'clock, the regular time, and Pacific Standard Time. I have to teach a class today on holiday stress. If anyone wants to join me, I'm doing it at the Daily Method on 4th. I think it's a pre-invite. But anyways.
Money. We're going to talk about money.
Oh, yeah, next week we're talking about money.
Yeah, because this is the subject where everybody, especially does this work, gets sideways. Not enough people signed up for my workshop. What do I do?
And money it really, when you start to really get money in a different way, it can, like I can say for myself, it shifted a lot of my health issues. And I can say for some of my clients, it was like, you know, life transformative. So.
I love you, Sabrina.
Love you guys so much. And I'll send you guys, we'll guys see you guys next week.
Yeah, see you next week. Hope you'll join us.
All right.
Thanks so much for being here, guys. Love you.
Thank you, Emmy. Awesome, guys.
Bye.
See you guys. Ciao. Bye, Lynnette.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, honey. Love you. Have fun tonight.
I will. Thank you.